268.8 miles per hour. That's the fastest ever recorded speed on the German Autobahn. The second fastest recorded speed on the Autobahn is 268.4 miles per hour, and the next 6 fastest recorded speeds on the Autobahn all exceed 200 miles per hour. This is of course legal because Germany's famous Autobahn has no speed limits, which makes the German part of me very proud. The American part of me is completely baffled that this is legal, and here's another little fact to further baffle all you Americans watching. The German Autobahn, despite having long stretches without speed limits, has less deaths per billion miles traveled than the American interstate highway system does. So it turns out that taking away speed limits makes roads safer. Or at least you can allow no speed limits if you have high driving standards. But before you go and book a flight to Germany and rent a Porsche as soon as you land, there are a few other things you should know about the German Autobahn, like for instance, that it's illegal to run out of gas. Hello people of the Internet, ich bin der Nico, ein Deutscher, der liebend gerne auf der Autobahn mit 200 Stundenkilometer fahren würde, and this is a reality check on your perception of the German Autobahn. Firstly, there are 2 common misconceptions that I need to address. Number 1. The Autobahn is not completely without speed limits. A lot of it is. A 2017 study stated that 70% had no official speed limit, but as soon as you get close to a city or you come across one of many construction sites, you will be slamming on the brakes. And number 2, the Autobahn is not just one highway. Like the US, there are a bunch of interstates, and these interstates are numbered, like I-59 or I-80, and Germany is more or less the same way. The Autobahn is the whole network of highways, and there are individually numbered Autobahns like the A2 or the A14. Misconceptions out of the way, let me warn you about some harsh realities about driving on the Autobahn. Like I said at the beginning, running out of gas on the Autobahn is illegal. In fact, any stopping on the side of the Autobahn that is not a breakdown is a no-go. Need to take a leak? Don't. Wife or girlfriend angry at you because you didn't notice that her hair was half a centimeter shorter? Don't kick her out of the car no matter how tempting it is. Kid needs to puke because you were driving too fast on twisty roads? You maybe should have used protection. So, unless you're driving a BMW, a Fiat, or a 1979 Triumph Spitfire 1500, you'll have to wait for the next rest area since your car is not in immediate danger of breaking down. Luckily, rest areas are amazingly common. You will likely come across a parking lot to stop at every 20 minutes or so, with larger rest stops, housing bathrooms and gas stations, being spaced further apart. So, while you may not be allowed to just pull over on the side of the road in any scenario that's not an emergency, there are plenty of places to pull over and stretch your legs. 2 other things quickly before I move on to the speed limits. First off, undertaking, so passing on the right side of a vehicle, is not allowed. You're only allowed to pass on the left side. And secondly, unlike here in the US, where generally you're supposed to move to the right side to let emergency vehicles pass, in Germany you're supposed to clear a path in the middle. So if there's 2 lanes, the left lane goes to the left side, the right lane goes to the right side. Now for the fun stuff, the speed limits. With the exception of about 30% of the Autobahn, there is no official speed limit. But even so, you need to know what signs to look for before you put your foot to the floor. There are 2 types of signs, one is better than the other, and this is what they look like. This is the better one, I'll explain why in a second, and even though both mean end of speed limit, there is a crucial reason why this one can be better. But to explain that difference, I first need to discuss this sign. This sign disallows semi-trucks from overtaking, which, if you know how semi-truck drivers are here in the US, would be nice to see here too, but I digress. If you were to pass one of these no overtaking signs, and then come across specifically this speed limit sign, you would then have the safest conditions to go for your car's top speed. However, if you were to pass the blank version of that sign lifts all previous restrictions, and with that the restriction that keeps semi-truck drivers from overtaking one another. This is really important because unlike the semi-trucks you see here in the States, barreling down the road at 70 or 80 miles an hour, in Germany they are all speed regulated to a whopping 55 miles per hour. So if you are absolutely bombing it down the Autobahn at 155 and a semi-truck pulls into the fast lane, by the time you've slowed down, assuming you even noticed in time, you will need a new set of brake pads and a fresh pair of pants. And while we're on the topic of the best places to hit some high speeds, I'll let you in on a little secret. Don't go to the Stuttgart area. I know that's where Porsche and Mercedes are housed, but that is exactly my reasoning for not going there. To be fair, you'll come across seasoned Autobahn speed demons anywhere in Germany, but in Stuttgart especially, you will come across the most. To put this in the most American way possible, imagine you are 5'8" and 140 pounds, and then you join the NFL and decide to play as a defensive lineman.
Moments in sports where you just... Oh! Oh my God! That is not good.
So with that in mind, let me show you where is best to go. Look at this map that shows all of the de-restricted zones. All the ring roads surrounding cities are regulated, but the stretches in between are mostly free, depending of course on if there's construction or not. As a general rule, I would say the further north you go, the friendlier it is. The south is where Porsche, Mercedes, and BMW live. Combine that with increasingly mountainous terrain, and that makes going fast much tougher. But further north and well away from cities will likely be the quietest, and therefore easiest to get your taste of top speed. Just note it will likely take a considerable amount of time since you have to leave whatever city you are staying in. Hopefully that helps you have fun on the Autobahn while also staying safe. If you want to see more videos like this, then consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. If you want to know about drink driving laws in Germany versus the United States, and how Germany is arguably doing it better, then I recommend this video when it pops up. Until next time, people of the internet, peace out.